Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage I'm going to put some big boots on my Fiat Ducato based motorhome. Hi everyone, exciting, always nice to be playing with nice new wheels and tyres, and today them babies are going on there, which is filthy, but we can't do much about the weather. For those who follow the channel regularly, there's another nice shot of the repositioned number plate for the XK8. Finish that off by filling in the little holes in the overriders another day, but more important things to do today. So what's this all about? First of all, I know there are lots of sponsored videos flying around for Rogue Alloys. This is not one. I have purchased wheels and tyres from Rogue Alloys, but I have purchased wheels and tyres from Rogue Alloys. Not sponsored, never approached them for anything. This is something I've been saving up for. What's this all about? Why am I doing it? This is Jazzy, my IH630RL. She's a 2014 Fiat Ducato, or Ducato, 150 multi-jet, and she is a professional maxi, which means she's a little bit more capable in the weight carrying front, which includes slightly upgraded suspension, stronger hubs and bearings with a larger PCD for the nuts and bolts, and 16-inch wheels as standard. I'm not 100% sure, but I think maybe the professional maxi also, the alloy wheels were standard rather than steels. I've had the van probably 18 months, I'm not sure. I use it very regularly. I mean, we're avid campers, but I also use it for work a lot. So this is my accommodation slash office slash living space when I'm working around the country. I am a consultant and it gets used year round. And as you can tell by the state, I'm on some not always perfectly paved campsites, park-ups, etc. And even though when I got the van, I replaced the tyres just because the old ones were old rather than worn out, with very decent Kumho Portrack KC53s, which I'm very happy with as a tyre for the road. I'm just looking for a size for you. There we go. 215/75 R16C 113111R. Come to all that later. Where they fail is in two regards. One is slippery, muddy slopes and crossing damp campgrounds. This sort of continuous pattern, which is so good for probably economy and noise, really doesn't make much impression in mud, and it gets slippy quite quick. So I need something that's a little better in the rough stuff. And I'll make no bones about it. Aesthetics. They look what they are. Tyres on a commercial van, and the wheels, though alloy and larger than some, are a bit boring if you ask me. A very interesting van. I really love this van. It works well for me. Being the maxi, it has the black arches over the top, and it's got that slightly more rugged look. And I just wanted off-road style wheels and tyres. And you haven't got to research the internet too long to find out that an awful lot of people go to Rogue Alloys for that. And I think the main reason, and there are many other great suppliers, I'm not saying Rogue Alloys are better, the main reason is Rogue seem to have carved out a bit of a niche where the vast majority of the wheels and tyres they sell and market are really aimed at vans, van lifers, commercial vans, whether you've got a T5, Ducato, Sprinters. So I think they've just got this reputation for one-stop shop. Speak to them. They know the load ratings, they know the tyres sizes that they can get away without rubbing and fouling, all that sort of stuff. It's just a low stress way of doing it. They'll also fit them for you, obviously, but I'm nowhere near them. So I had these delivered on a pallet. They've come with all of the new bolts, locking bolts, and four spigot rings that just make the nose perfect fit, so that the nose of the hub does the supporting rather than just the bolts. And I've decided to go for General Grabber 83s. Probably the most popular tyre if you're going for the off-road look, or you actually need off-road, is a BF Goodrich KO2 or KO3. And they really are the best if off-roadness is your primary need. But the counterpoint to that is they're also the one where you start to hear a little bit more road noise. You start to get an effect that damages your fuel economy, that sort of thing. And they're not necessarily the best on wet tarmac, in my opinion. I think the KO3, which is the new one, is probably better. But these General Grabber 83s, as you can see, you can still lose coins in here. The tread depth on these, at a glance, is more than 10 mil. They've got aggressive edge patterns. It's still built for off-road use, but there's a little bit more of a concession to being decent on-road. There's less blockiness to the pattern. But for me, these are going to give me what I need, plus quieter, plus comfort, plus economy. They're also offered in this size with white sidewall text, which I really like, so very happy with that. For those that travel abroad with their vans, it's got important things like the 3 peaks and snowflake symbol, which means you're going to be allowed to use this all year round in various countries where sometimes they're very fussy about this symbol. It's mud and snow tyre. Got more than sufficient load rating for my vehicle, 115/112. Here we go, look, max load on a single wheel, because you got dualies as well, 12-15 kilograms per wheel. And the size is a 225/75R16, which is the largest size that's going to clear everything with no mods to suspension height, wheel arches, no spacers, anything like that. So this is not going to foul. It's as big as you can go. The wheels I've decided to go for are Rogue Alloys Rolex with 1L. And these are the gunmetal satin metallic, and I think that's going to look great. A lot of people go for the black look because it's slightly more swamper, slightly more off-roady, but I think that is perfect for my silver and grey van. I think that's going to really work well. There's the energy sticker for anybody who's interested for these tyres. You'll see that it rates rather poorly for economy, but it's all relative for this type of tyre. You're never going to have the most economic ratings, but it's a B for wet weather handling, which is something that may be the most extreme of off-road tyres. Aren't always great on tarmac. They're going to clear loads of water, but maybe they're not putting a lot of rubber down either at any one point. Anyway, that's my choice. You do your own research and you make your own decisions. The blue is just wax on this tyre to protect the lettering. So I'm going to get that off, and then we're going to try and fit one on the van. Just put some hand soap and a little bit of water in a jug. I've got a little brush. And we'll get the blue off. Commercial vehicle wheels can be quite hard to get off, so a little bit of penetrant aimed at the seats won't hurt. For those who are interested, the standard van in decent nick, springs wise, etc., I would say has clearance to the top of the tyre of around 50 mil. Closest point at the front 60 mil, 70 mil, and road to wheel arch is 76, and on the back 79. Probably the tightest point is there, and you're looking at about 40 mil between those two surfaces. The back is a fraction under 40 mil. And just to give us a view down the side of the van, the wheels are inboard from the bodywork, and because of wide angle lenses you're not going to see this on camera at all, but you're looking 50 mil rear, 50 mil front, 21 mil socket size. I would suggest you definitely get a 6-sided socket to do these. You don't want to be struggling with rounding things off. Don't get the wrong size. I've got a really big quality jack. You can use the jack that comes with the van, but be very careful. If you struggle with any of this or the weight and size of things, then yeah, take it to a tyre fitter. They'll make light work of it. But 21 mil and a breaker bar should do the trick. Just get them all loosen off slightly while it's touching the ground, then jack it up. I'd say about there. Let's see if this gets off easy. First one will tell us everything we need to know. Should be easy now. That was all relatively painless. Oh, smashing. If you're doing the same job as me on a Fiat Ducato or similar, Peugeot Boxer or the Citroen Relay, you'll probably find you've got these spikes which are to help locate the wheel, because they're bolt on rather than nut on. However, Rogue Alloys recommend removing these because sometimes they foul on the new alloys, and you get unevenness that can also give you balance issues. So they just unscrew. They're not doing anything in terms of supporting the load, it's just a location device. It's been greased and everything, so somebody's looked after it. Right, so I'll just give that a wipe. This has been Somebody's been in there with a bit of care. That's good. Just clean your hub up. Make sure if it's rusty, then you need to wire brush it. This is very clean, been greased, so we're just giving it a wipe over and make sure there's no debris. Took the pins out. It's time for our first wheel. These I call spigot rings, and marked on them is two sizes. There's 89.1, 78.1. That's the inside and outside diameter. And hopefully, if you ordered the right wheels, and I have, that will slide onto the nose there of the hub, and we'll just ensure we get a perfect location on the hub, as well as the countersink areas on the bolts. So you've got 5 forms of fixing but self-centralised, plus that which self-centralises. It's all clamped up, should be perfect. If you haven't got the Ducato Maxi with the heavier running gear, then you've got a 118mm PCD, which is the diameter of the circle which the bolt holes are drilled on. This is a 130, the bigger one. If you've got the 118, then different situation with the spigot rings. I can't advise you on what size those would be, but Rogue Alloys would, or others. Just check. Yes, good fit in there. And are they the same as the original? No. So I need a different size socket. Yeah, 19. Okay, so this should go straight on, pre-balanced. Put a plastic nose ring on the hub. Oh, they're gonna look the absolute business. Got the new bolts, which are 19mm headed. The challenge is to line up the bolt holes. So we've got one at the top, more or less. Let's line it up. I don't know if these are heavier or lighter than the originals. Ooh, I'm going to be able to reach. So if we get another bolt in. So fitting 4 standard nuts, and then let's have a look at what we've got here. These are the locking nuts we've been sent. Ooh, it's a long socket. It's obviously a puzzle nut style. So we'll get that off there, and it's time to let her down. It's a twist the handle, Al. Woohoo! Looking very cool. Right, so go to one there. Can we pull 160? Oh, that is 160 Newton meters. I think it actually says on the spec 180, but I'll do that after I've driven for a while. Time to stand back, admire our work, and then crack on and do them all. Oh, look at that, night and day. Does look like it's going up now though. Uphill. So I did a little bit of height. Let's see how quick we can do the others because it's cold. Well, an hour later, I could not be more pleased with how these look. It's the thing with wheels, they're not like shoes. You can't say, can I try them on? And if nobody else has got the same wheels in the same colours with the same fitment that you can see a picture of or visit, you're just guessing. And we guessed good. The gunmetal finish is excellent because it's not black, which I didn't want it to look like the tyres blended into the wheels. But we've got so much grey cladding on this vehicle, it kind of works. Chunky looks the business. I've got a big trip coming up, so that's the perfect opportunity to tell you guys about how it's affected ride, handling, everything like that, economy, noise. But for now, what I will do is just give you some measurements, again, just for those who are interested. Clearance to the top, I'm looking across the width of the tyre to the low edge of the plastics. I'd say 40. Closest here, 40, 45. Here, I'm going to say 50. And the close spot on these vans is in front and behind the wheel at the back. So that's the tightest bit. Across the top, about 50. Closest there, I'm going to say 25. Maybe 20. But of course, the wheels are not moving backwards and forwards very much of at all. Being on leaf springs, quite flat leaf springs, the travel is almost entirely vertical, so you're not got to worry about that shifting around too much. If it's not colliding, you're good. And indeed, if I show you this little shipping sheet, you even get things like the correct torque, which is 180 Newton meters, and the tyre pressure is 65 psi, by the way. I know that's something I was interested in. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I will put a link to the wheels and tyre, well, not the wheels and tyres, where I got wheels and tyres in the description below. But this video has got zero sponsorship. They don't know I'm making it or anything like that. I'll just do that as a courtesy to you folk in case you think, ooh, I'd like some Light Johns, please. If you just go to Amazon/shop/to the garage, and I'll put that link in the description below so that you can just click on it. It takes you to a To the Garage area of Amazon that is categorized into hand tools, power tools, gadgets and gizmos, things specifically the XK8, etc. that I've bought from Amazon over the years, so that you can follow the same links and have a look, see how much those cost at the moment. Nice little feature. Thank you, Amazon. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos. And please give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, and you can share the videos. And below the video is always the area where you can comment and get involved with the chat.